Welcome to this explainer. You know, when we think about career advancement, it's usually all about relentless networking, constantly upskilling, or just aggressively chasing that next big promotion, right? But today, we're looking at a completely different, almost secret career tool. We're going to examine the hidden power of one very precise number and how it can literally transform your professional trajectory from the ground up. Let's get into it. All right, here is that exact number, $20,000. In the realm of personal finance and career strategy, we're constantly bombarded with broad, kind of vague advice, aren't we? Save for retirement, buy a house, build a massive investment portfolio. But today we're isolating this specific, highly targeted figure to understand exactly why it matters so much. Now, it might just seem like a static number on a bank statement, but we really need to ask, what is a hidden career power of this exact amount? I mean, why not 5,000? Why not 50,000? Well, the data points to this specific threshold as a fundamental tipping point. It's that magical moment when money transforms from a simple safety net, just something to catch you if you fall, into a weapon of immense leverage that you can actually wield in your day-to-day work life. So let's explore our first key concept, the power of 20 grand. To be clear, this isn't about buying a new car or taking some luxury vacation. No. Walking away money is pure psychological armor. It's a $20,000 cushion that actually buys you the psychological strength to negotiate or even walk away entirely without fear. Think about the reality of a toxic workplace, or maybe a totally unreasonable demand from a boss. If you have zero savings, well, you basically just have to nod and accept it. But this financial cushion, it shifts you entirely from survival mode straight into strategic mode. It completely changes the game, because you know that if things go south, you've got the financial padding to walk away completely intact. Which brings us perfectly to concept number 2, negotiating from true power. Just think about the stark contrast here. When you're negotiating from a place of need, you're trapped, you're anxious, you inherently lack leverage because your employer knows, and actually, more importantly, you know, that you desperately need that next paycheck just to survive. But when you negotiate backed by walking away money, man, your entire posture changes. You're confident. You're totally secure. You don't have to accept a bad deal just to keep the lights on, simply because you have the profound ability to just say no. So the crucial point here is that this specific cushion fundamentally alters your workplace psychology. When you sit down for an intense performance review, or maybe you're negotiating the starting salary for a brand new role, your energy is completely different. You are no longer acting as a dependent, you're negotiating as an equal partner. You're projecting that calm, unshakable confidence of someone who actually has options. And believe me, employers can sense that shift in power immediately. Now, let's unpack the underlying engine in our final section, the math of momentum. So there is a mathematical reality to this threshold, and it's this: that first 20 grand is an absolute grind. It requires extreme discipline, super tight budgeting, and honestly, it feels like manually pushing a heavy boulder up a really steep hill. But the second 20 grand, it comes drastically faster. Once you hit this milestone, the momentum completely shifts in your favor. You're no longer pushing the boulder up, it's reached the peak and it's starting to roll down the other side all on its own. And this happens because your money literally starts doing the heavy lifting. It's exactly like a tireless employee you just hired to work alongside you round the clock. Compound interest and investment returns start to actually generate noticeable, tangible amounts of capital all on their own. You're no longer just trading your time for dollars. Your wealth is actually beginning to reproduce itself without you ever having to clock in for it. How cool is that? It creates this beautiful, really unstoppable positive feedback loop. This mathematical reality accelerates your wealth, which immediately reinforces that psychological power we talked about a minute ago. The stronger your financial cushion becomes, the faster it grows. And the faster it grows, the more undeniable your career leverage becomes. Your financial security and your professional boldness are suddenly locked together, just driving each other upward. So, I want you to look at your current trajectory for a second. Knowing what we now know about the math of momentum and the sheer psychology of walking away, it fundamentally changes how we view every single dollar saved. It's not just a rainy day fund, it is your negotiation power. It's your ultimate freedom to say no and your ability to command absolute respect in the workplace. So the final question I want to leave you with today is this: are you simply building a savings account, or are you actively building an empire of leverage?